In a magical forest, where sunlight danced through the leaves and flowers whispered secrets to the wind, lived a fairy named Flora. With shimmering emerald wings and hair that flowed like the morning dew, she was a sight to behold. However, Flora had one glaring flaw. She was notoriously lazy. While her fellow fairies flitted about, gathering stardust and weaving garlands of flowers, Flora preferred the comfort of her leaf pillow, snoring softly like a tiny dragon. One bright morning, Flora awoke to find her wings missing. Panic surged through her as she fluttered about her cozy nook, searching under toadstools and behind twinkling fireflies. "Who stole them?" she cried, her voice echoing through the forest. But deep down, a thought crept into her mind. Perhaps she had simply napped on them again. Determined to find her wings, Flora set off on a quest. She wandered through the forest, her heart racing with both fear and excitement. Along the way, she encountered a wise old owl named Oswald, perched on a gnarled branch. "Oswald, have you seen my wings?" she pleaded. The owl blinked slowly, his golden eyes twinkling with mischief. "Ah, Flora, your wings are not stolen. They are hidden, waiting for you to earn them back." Confused yet intrigued, Flora asked, "How can I earn them?" Oswald chuckled softly. "You must help the forest. The flowers need watering, the stars need collecting, and the animals need guidance. Only then will your wings return." With a reluctant sigh, Flora set to work. She watered the daisies, gathered stardust with the help of a mischievous squirrel, and guided a lost fawn back to its mother. Each task felt heavy at first, but as she worked, Flora discovered joy in the laughter of the animals and the beauty of the blooming flowers. Days passed, and with each act of kindness, Flora felt a spark of magic return to her. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, she looked up at the twinkling stars and realized how much she had missed the thrill of adventure. Just then, a warm glow enveloped her, and her wings reappeared, glimmering brighter than ever. Flora soared into the sky, her heart light and free. She had learned that while rest was sweet, the world was filled with wonders waiting to be discovered. From that day on, Flora balanced her naps with adventures, becoming the most beloved fairy in the magical forest, inspiring others to embrace both rest and action. Flora, a tiny fairy with shimmering wings, flitted through the lush green forest, her heart heavy with worry. Today was the day of the grand gathering, a celebration where fairies from all corners of the realm would come to dance under the moonlight. But there was a problem. Flora had lost her wings. Determined to find them, she crawled through the underbrush, her delicate frame barely making a sound. She approached the wise old owl perched atop a gnarled branch. "Excuse me, Mr. Owl," she called softly. "Have you seen my wings?" The owl blinked slowly, his golden eyes glinting in the dappled sunlight. "The wind took them," he hooted, his voice deep and resonant. "Perhaps you should follow where the breeze leads." Flora thanked him and continued on her quest, her tiny heart fluttering with hope. Next, she encountered a plump frog sitting by a shimmering pond. "Mr. Frog, have you seen my wings?" she asked, her voice a mixture of desperation and determination. The frog chuckled, his throat swelling as he croaked. "Check the mud. They might be stuck in a sticky spot." Flora nodded, grateful for the suggestion, and hopped toward the muddy bank, her spirit undeterred. As she searched the muck, she heard a rustling above her. A cheeky squirrel scampered down a tree, his bushy tail twitching with mischief. "What's got you all in a tiz, little fairy?" he chattered, his eyes sparkling with mirth. "I've lost my wings," Flora exclaimed, exasperated. "Have you seen them?" The squirrel burst into laughter, his voice ringing like bells. "You probably sat on them again." He leaped closer, his tiny paws dancing with glee. Flora couldn't help but smile at his playful nature, even in her moment of distress. After a moment of lighthearted banter, Flora's gaze fell upon a glimmering object half buried in the mud. She rushed over, her heart racing. As she drew closer, she realized it was a jar of honey, and within it, her wings glistened like jewels, sticky but intact. "Well," she grinned, her spirits lifted. "At least they're sweet." With a flick of her wrist, she gently freed her wings from the sugary trap. As she stretched them out, the forest seemed to sparkle with renewed magic. With a grateful heart, Flora took to the skies, her wings shimmering in the sunlight. She soared above the trees, her laughter mingling with the wind, ready to join her friends at the grand gathering. Her adventure a sweet reminder of the joy in every moment. In a realm where sunlight danced through the leaves and flowers bloomed in vibrant colors, there lived a little fairy named Flora. With wings that shimmered like dew-kissed petals, she flitted about the enchanted forest, her laughter bubbling like a brook. But Flora was known for one peculiar trait: her love for lounging in the warm sun, often napping in patches of wildflowers and, more dangerously, in pots of golden honey. One fateful afternoon, after a particularly long slumber, Flora awoke to find herself stuck in a sticky mess. The honey had ensnared her wings, gluing her to the ground. As she struggled to free herself, a gentle voice chimed in. "You've got to be more careful, Flora. You can't sleep in honey and expect to fly." It was Luna, the wise owl, perched on a nearby branch, her feathers glistening in the sunlight. Flora giggled, her laughter a sweet melody. "Maybe being lazy is fine, as long as you don't sleep in honey," she replied, her eyes sparkling with mischief. But Luna's gaze was serious. "Every fairy has a purpose. Dear one, you must contribute to the magic of this forest." Determined to prove her worth, Flora spent the next few days working hard. Well, a little. She sprinkled fairy dust on flowers, helping them bloom brighter, and danced through the air, spreading joy. Each day she felt the warmth of the sun, the thrill of the wind, and the satisfaction of her contributions. The forest began to hum with a new energy, and Flora realized that hard work brought its own kind of magic. As she flitted through the trees, Flora became known as the sweetest fairy in the kingdom. Her laughter echoed through the woods, uplifting the spirits of all who heard it. The bees buzzed in delight, the flowers swayed in rhythm, and even Luna nodded in approval from her perch. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Flora gathered her friends for a celebration. They danced under the stars, their laughter mingling with the soft rustle of leaves. Flora, with her sticky wings now free and her heart full, realized that being a little lazy was fine, as long as she balanced it with moments of hard work and joy. From that day forward, Flora embraced her dual nature, knowing that the sweetest fairy was one who could both soar high and savor the simple pleasures of life. And so the forest thrived, filled with laughter, light, and the sweet essence of a fairy who learned the true meaning of balance.